A professional sniper joins a team of special forces on a mission to take down the world's most dangerous drug lord. But there's a catch. This drug lord is using a banned, unconventional weapon. The result? Over half the team is mysteriously wiped out. The survivors try to escape the compound, but that's not the end of it. They also have to face a fully armed militia. The big question is, will they survive and eliminate their enemies? That's what we're about to find out in today's video. The movie kicks off in a fictional country called Costa, where we meet two elite snipers, Bucket and Zondi. At the time, they're hidden in a remote location, keeping a close eye on a massive weapons manufacturing and distribution compound. This place belongs to one of the world's most notorious arms dealers, Riker. Alongside him is a crazy weapons designer named Maxim, who's behind some of the most dangerous illegal weapons on the planet. Bucket and Zondi are part of a team assigned to infiltrate the compound and eliminate Riker and Maxim. As the mission kicks off, they open fire on Riker's guards, who are stationed all around the facility. Naturally, the snipers take out every last one of them before they can sound the alarm or warn Riker and his crew about the incoming threat. Once the perimeter is clear, they're joined by a seasoned officer named Modesai, and together they begin sweeping through the compound, eliminating any hostiles they encounter. Eventually, Modesai and the team manage to secure the entire facility. One squad takes control of the garage, while another locks down the armory. With the compound under control, Modesai and a group of his men head straight for Riker. Without warning, Riker pulls out his weapon and engages them in a fierce shootout. In the heat of the moment, he calls the Prime Minister of the city, a man named Diaz, and demands backup from his personal militia. Now here's the twist. Diaz isn't just a politician. He runs his own private militia, handling all the dirty work behind the scenes, and Riker is their main arms supplier. That's why Riker expects Diaz to come through for him. But after the call ends, Riker realizes that Diaz probably won't reach him in time. So, he makes a bold move. He grabs Maxim and heads to a secret room deep inside the compound. Inside that room lies a strange, highly dangerous weapon, one of Maxim's twisted creations. Riker demands to know how it works. Maxim explains the activation process and warns everyone to clear out immediately before it's triggered. Otherwise, no one's making it out alive. Here's where things spiral out of control. Modesai and his team break into the room just as the weapon is about to be launched. With no other choice, Riker activates it. A massive energy blast rips through the room, knocking out Riker, Maxim, Modesai, and everyone else inside. What happens next? That remains a mystery, but you know we'll uncover more as the story unfolds. Now, my friend, we're gonna rewind the clock 48 hours to see how Modesai assembled his crew for this deadly mission. We flash back to Bucket's arrival in Costa. The moment he lands, he's greeted by Modesai, who welcomes him and fills him in. They're going after Riker and Maxim, and they're not coming back until the job's done. Alongside Modesai are two of his trusted officers, a guy named Nova and a female officer named Nadia. Modesai introduces them both to Bucket, and then they all hop into a vehicle headed toward their special operations base, where the rest of the team is waiting. On the way, Nova strikes up a conversation with Bucket. From their talk, we learn that Nova is actually from Costa, and his uncle is none other than the corrupt Prime Minister, Diaz. But Nova is nothing like his uncle. In fact, he's leading the resistance against Diaz's regime and his partnership with Riker, determined to wipe out the corruption poisoning the country. Nova joined Modesai's team with one goal in mind, to take down both Riker and Diaz, once and for all, a dream he's had for years. Then comes a major reveal. Bucket was once accused of killing Nova's father, a former Prime Minister of Costa and a truly honest politician. But here's the twist. Everyone, including Nova, knows Bucket was innocent. The real culprit? Diaz himself, who orchestrated the murder just to seize power. And not long after, he got exactly what he wanted. Eventually, the team arrives at their base. As soon as Bucket steps inside, he's hit with a surprise. Standing before him is Rosie, an old friend from way back. Rosie tells him that he was the one who recommended Bucket to Modesai for this mission. Bucket's face lights up, grateful for the trust. Rosie then introduces Bucket to the rest of the team. There's Angel, Hera, Hello, and two more operatives, Jansen and Jet. As they all get acquainted, it becomes clear that this is a multinational operation. Each team member is from a different country, united by one mission, to eliminate Riker and Maxim. For instance, Angel is from South Africa, Hera's Canadian, Hello's French, and so on. Just then, Modesai walks in with Zondi and introduces him to Bucket as his sniping partner from South Africa. Modesai explains that while Zondi is incredibly skilled with a rifle, he still lacks real battlefield experience, and that's why Bucket will serve as his mentor throughout the mission. Everyone agrees to the setup. Later, we see Modesai unveil a full-scale mock-up of Riker's compound, a detailed replica built inside the base. The team begins training inside it, rehearsing every move as if they were already inside Riker's stronghold. The goal? To learn the layout, pinpoint guard positions, and prep for anything that might come their way. Meanwhile, Bucket continues mentoring Zondi, offering him tips and guidance. Eventually, the team gears up and heads out to take down Riker and Maxim. We see the operation unfold, from the stealthy approach to the moment everything goes sideways when Riker unleashes a mysterious energy blast from Maxim's weapon, knocking everyone unconscious. Now, we return to that exact moment and see Rosie, who was outside the room during the blast, rush in. He finds Riker still alive and makes a move to stop him. At the same time, Modesai and the others start to regain consciousness. They quickly subdue both Riker and Maxim and begin escorting them out of the compound. Bucket and Zondi join them to help secure the path and ensure they make it out alive. As they're making their way out, Riker warns them. They need to get out immediately. Diaz, the Prime Minister, is about to send his private militia to finish them all off. But here's the real bombshell. My friend, Maxim drops a chilling truth bomb. The weapon's energy hasn't even shown its true effect yet. The real damage is coming. He tells them that soon everyone exposed to it will die. No one takes him seriously. They all think he's bluffing. And then it begins. Modesai's nose starts bleeding, and just seconds later, he drops dead. One by one, everyone who was in that room, even Riker and Maxim themselves, start dying the same way. In other words, anyone who came in contact with the weapon's mysterious energy didn't survive. No exceptions. At this point, only a few made it out alive, the ones who weren't in the room with the weapon. Bucket, Zondi, Rosie, Angel, Nova, and Hera. As for the rest, Modesai, Jet, Silo, and Hello, they were all killed. Naturally, the team is in total shock. The most shaken is Angel, who lashes out at Rosie, blaming him for not being in the room with the others like the original plan said. She accuses him of hiding something, like maybe he knew what was coming and stayed out of harm's way on purpose. But Rosie firmly denies it, saying none of that is true. Bucket steps in and calms everyone down. He tells them they need to figure out how this weapon actually works, why there's a delay before the effects kick in, and why people die sometime after being exposed to it. Something about it just doesn't add up, and Bucket knows it. Still, he tries to ease the tension and get everyone focused on what needs to happen next. Then he lays out the new plan. First, since Nova is a tech expert with serious skills in data extraction, his job is to upload all the intel about the weapon to a satellite operated by US intelligence. That way, the US and the other nations involved in the mission can get accurate data on the weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. If Diaz's militia reaches the compound and gets access to the weapon, that data might be the only thing that can help stop them. Bucket warns the team that Diaz's men are on their way, fast. While Nova handles the upload, everyone else needs to take their positions and get ready for a firefight. He also explains the final part of the plan. The whole compound is going to be wired with explosives. Once the mission's complete, they'll blow the place sky high to make sure no one else ever gets their hands on that weapon. With that, the team snaps into action. Everyone moves out to their assigned positions. Nova heads to the server room and begins the data transfer process. Not long after, Diaz's militia storms the compound. That's when Bucket's plan kicks off. The team tosses smoke grenades into the yard, blinding the enemy and throwing them into chaos. Out of nowhere, Bucket appears and starts taking down soldiers one by one, silent and deadly. Once he's cleared a path, he fades into cover, giving Zondi, Rosie, Hera, and Angel the green light to launch their assault. Now, here's the intense part. Hera gets cornered by a whole squad of militia. She's out of ammo, but instead of giving up, she draws a combat knife and goes full hand-to-hand combat mode. It's a brutal, action-packed sequence. Hera fights like a machine, taking down enemy after enemy in close quarters. But just as she's catching her breath, another squad shows up, and she's shot. Hera falls, and it's a gut-wrenching moment. Luckily, Bucket is nearby. He puts on his thermal vision goggles, locks onto the shooters, and eliminates every single one before they even realize he's there. Once the dust settles, Bucket rushes to Hera's side, but it's too late. She's gone. Meanwhile, Nova contacts Bucket, warning him that more soldiers are closing in on the server room. Bucket tells him to use the phone he gave him earlier. It's connected to the explosives planted in the hallway. Nova doesn't hesitate. He triggers the detonation, collapsing the corridor and killing the incoming enemies. Right after, Nova confirms the data upload is complete. He evacuates the server room and blows it to pieces, wiping out all traces of Maxim's weapon and the technology behind it. Not long after all that chaos, Bucket realizes it's time. They all need to pull out and get the hell out of there before another wave of Diaz's militia reinforcement shows up. So he makes the call. He heads into the courtyard, trying to regroup with the rest of the team, but just as he's crossing, a squad of soldiers ambushes him, hitting him in the stomach. Wounded, but still fighting, Bucket manages to take out the whole group and scrambles to get clear, desperate to catch up with the others. Meanwhile, Nova is also making his way to the rendezvous point. when suddenly a soldier jumps out and shoots him twice, dropping him to the ground. Just in time, Zondi and Angel arrive on the scene, take down the shooter and a few more, and then carry Nova's body with them as they head to the extraction point. When they arrive, Bucket and Rosie are already there, waiting. Bucket tells them there's still a squad of militia soldiers closing in, and that he's injured. He decides he'll stay back and fight them off, buy the rest of the team time to escape, even if it means dying in the process. But Rosie, his lifelong friend, refuses to leave him behind. He looks Bucket in the eye and tells him, "We're walking out of here together." That moment lights a fire in Bucket's heart. He's not going out today. The team pushes forward. They're quickly surrounded by the remaining militia, but Bucket and Rosie fight like hell, taking out soldier after soldier, refusing to back down. And just when things start to look grim, reinforcements arrive. A group of Nova's rebels show up at the perfect moment, wipe out the last of Diaz's men, and secure the win. The mission is finally over. Later, the team begins to pull out. As others gather the fallen, someone checks Nova's body and suddenly calls out. He's still alive. Barely, but his heart's still beating. The man rushes to get him help. Against all odds, Nova's going to make it. Days pass. We see Rosie and Bucket standing on a quiet beach, joined by Zondi and Angel, all four of them reflecting on everything that went down. From their conversation, we learn that Zondi and Angel have decided to stay in Costa and help the rebels take down the rest of Diaz's corrupt regime once and for all. As for Bucket and Rosie, they've chosen to head back home after one long, brutal mission that tested everything they had. Zondi and Angel give them a heartfelt goodbye. Bucket and Rosie nod, then walk off, ready to go home. They all know one thing: they did it. They finished what they came here to do. And with that, the movie ends. Thanks for sticking around until the end. Your support means everything. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Catch you in the next recap.